So let's take a journey through a career in high finance. We're going to climb from the absolute ground floor to a height where you don't just see the market, you are the market. This is the story of how financial power is really built, one level at a time.
And this is where your story begins. The market opens in 4 minutes. You've been at your desk since, 5:47 a.m.? That's salary, the one that felt so huge when you signed the offer letter. Yeah, it feels a little different now. This is your reality. And the climb, it starts right now. All right, welcome to level 1. You're a first-year analyst. You are the foundation. You're the part nobody sees, the part nobody really acknowledges. Your entire job can be boiled down to 2 simple words: survival and discretion.
Your days, they just blend together in this haze of 14, sometimes 18 hours of pure grind. You learn to read a 10K in 40 minutes because you literally have no other choice. You process this massive $430 million deal, and you do it all from a single spreadsheet on the 31st floor. You never, ever meet the client. You'll never see the boardroom, but your numbers, your work, oh, it's in that room. And then one morning, you see it. A number. It's buried deep inside your senior associate's model. An error. A $2 million error. You stare at it. Your heart is pounding. And then you quietly fix it in your own file. And you don't say a single word to anyone. Because this is the first and maybe the most important lesson you will ever learn. The system doesn't reward the person who points out a mistake. No, it rewards the one who handles it, who just makes the problem disappear. It rewards discretion. And that, right there, is the first rule of the game. And that lesson, that is what gets you to level 2, the associate. Now, you're not just crunching numbers anymore. You're actually in the room. I mean, not the main room, but close enough. And what you learn here is that proximity is absolutely everything. You're structuring deals now. Yeah, junior pieces, but real structure. You're drafting the terms on a $180 million deal. You're sitting across from a CFO, and you're explaining covenant breaches without even flinching. Now, this deal, it's a leveraged buyout. It will almost certainly lead to layoffs, but you don't model the human cost. Nobody asks you to. Your job is to model EBITDA margins. All this proximity, it teaches you the second rule. Capital is power. It's that simple. The closer you get to one, the closer you are to the other. Being this close means you're part of decisions with consequences you might rather ignore, but, well, your job is to make them happen. So you get to level 3. You become a vice president, the dealer. And believe me, the shift here, it's monumental. You're not support staff anymore. You are the point of contact. You're the one who executes. You close your first transaction all by yourself. A $620 million acquisition. Sure, your managing director's name is on the cover sheet, but in the room, the client is talking to you. They're asking you the hard questions. And this is your first taste of real ownership. And with ownership comes a much clearer view of the, let's call it, ethical architecture of the deal. See, to hit that 22% IRR the fund needs, the target company's pension obligations, they have to be restructured. You know exactly what that means for the people who are about to retire. But nobody says it out loud in the meeting. And the deal closes. And this leads you, inevitably, to the third rule. You stop asking if a deal is good. You only ask one question now. Is the deal executable? Morality has become a variable you just can't afford. Executability is the only metric that matters. Level 4 brings you to director. Your job is no longer just about execution. It's about origination. And you quickly learn that origination isn't about the numbers on a spreadsheet. It's about relationships, and it's about the most valuable currency there is, information. And of course, you learn this the hard way. You lose a massive $2.8 billion mandate. Your numbers were better, your structure was cleaner, more elegant, but you lost. Why? Because a competing MD went to the same private club as the client's chairman. That's it. That's the entire lesson. This is where your whole identity starts to shift. You see, you're not just an employee of the bank anymore. In the eyes of your clients, you are the bank. You embody its most critical relationships. It's a subtle distinction, but it is seismic, because you've learned that capital follows relationships, not just returns. You may partner. Level 5. You are now one of only 14 in the entire division. Your name is on the door now, not literally, but in every single way that matters. You've become a core component of the system itself. And because of that, your entire perspective on time just changes. As an analyst, you thought task by task. As a VP, you thought deal by deal. But now, as a partner with a carried interest, you stop optimizing for the annual bonus. You optimize for the 5-year fund cycle. You start thinking in decades.
A deal at this level isn't a transaction. It's a global chess match. You're not just financing a company, you're running a whole consortium of sovereign wealth and pension funds. You're structuring offshore holdings that snake through Luxembourg and the Cayman Islands. It's incredibly complex, it's all completely legal, and it adds 180 basis points to the fund's net IRI. You sign the papers without a moment's hesitation.
And finally, we get here, the apex, level 6. Titles like chairman or senior advisor, they're just placeholders. The reality is something far more abstract and infinitely more powerful.
This is the ultimate transformation. You see, you no longer react to the market. Your sentiment, your positioning, your decisions on how to deploy capital, they move the market. They create price discovery. When you buy, people watch. When you pull back, analysts write about it for weeks. You are the signal.
The scale of it all is, well, it's almost incomprehensible. Your committee deploys capital across 14 different markets. Total assets under management, over $90 billion. And the exact number, it's only known to 4 people in the entire world. And you? You are one of them. And so the final rule becomes crystal clear. There is no outside to critique you from. How could there be? The consequences of your decisions are too vast, too distributed across the globe to ever really be traced back to your desk. You don't feel the downstream effects anymore. You only feel the fund return. You would become the system's perspective. And the machine, it just keeps going. As you sit in a silent boardroom in Geneva somewhere, in some glass tower on the other side of the world, a 23-year-old is just starting. His badge says Analyst. He thinks the prize is the salary. He thinks this is a meritocracy. He's just beginning to learn the rules. Which really leaves us with this one last question. After climbing through all 6 of these levels of financial power, from the foundation to the absolute perspective, what does a system like this truly reward? Is it intelligence? Is it hard work? Or is it discretion, executability, and finally the complete and total absorption of your identity into the machine itself?